morning, or yeah, just morning, a couple of minutes left. So it'll be afternoon by the time this reaches you. My name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the weekly energies for today's Monday's Musings. There's some real interesting vibrations out there. There's some real division between the old and the new. And what that seems to be bringing up is a real sense of uncertainty. So I was talking to a dear friend of mine this morning and I really felt into the energy. I was doing it while I was on a walk. And what I saw was a newborn baby, the analogy of a newborn baby. And in the old days, being hung upside down, having its bottom smacked so that it would breathe this new life. Now, obviously, I don't advocate that now, but the two aspects of that, I became very aware of the Hanged Man and the number 12 and the Empress, so from now until the 12-12 portal, but also the analogy of breathing in new life, of looking at what it is we are actually believing and what it is we are actually ingesting, the sounds that we are making to our own body on all levels, this month in particular. I think the next new moon is in Sagittarius, so we are being really guided to aim for that higher potential. Now, when that happens, much as we might want it, there is that natural fear reaction. You know, the stars, shooting for the stars feel so far away. Okay, especially in the tarot, the star card comes after the tower card. So everything has crumbled down. We're right down here, and where we're trying to get is right up there. And it's the distance seems huge. It will, for those that believe they are still in the old places they were. We're not. The changes have happened. The life has begun. What we're being encouraged to do is to breathe that in this week in particular, to really breathe in newness, to really breathe in the foggy, crisp air that is at the season that has changed, to be really aware of what has actually shifted this week. In doing so, come the new moon, what we're trying to achieve will seem a lot clearer because we're breathing, and I get the analogy of being on top of mountains, altitude sickness. We're breathing in and we're taking ourselves higher with every breath, which means we're getting closer and closer to that vision. Okay, closer and closer to the stars that we're trying to aim for by this new moon in Sagittarius. I think it's Sagittarius. If it isn't, then hey, that's the energy that I feel. I feel that it's about aiming towards where we're trying to go. The 12-12 portal, the hanging of the child upside down, it does feel like ascension. Now, obviously, when we speak of ascension, for the most part, people believe it's about going up, about raising our vibration, which, yes, very much so. But ascension also, Pachacuti, is about bringing that energy down to earth in everything that we do. The Hanged Man, seeing everything from different perspectives, which is what we have done. But come the 12-12 portal, what are we actually doing about that? So the Hanged Man analogy with Odin, yes, obviously we remove our sight, we see what is actually going on underneath, we obtain that intuitive wisdom, but then we share that wisdom, and Odin did that in the runes, but we would share that wisdom forward. So come the 12-12 portal, having seen what we're trying to achieve, reaching for it, gaining insight into it, it is then about sharing that wisdom with ourselves first and foremost, and then with each other. It feels very key to share that with ourselves. And again, that's going back to the old stories that we are still breathing in. That encouragement to take a fresh breath of air. And it feels like the potential of a breath of fresh air this upcoming week. Is there anything else? Now, there was something that I wrote in my journal for myself, but it felt very relevant. Yes, so when I went to get the cards for this week's reading, I felt like I was searching for something. I felt like I was searching for a deck that didn't exist, which is very poignant to me. But also I felt like I was searching for something deeper, something more substantial, something more long term that's going to go the distance, which is the energy we're going to feel in the next few months as we lead into next year. Next year, very much, I've said it before, but very much about journeying, very much about astral travel, very much about timeline travel, but very much about physical travel as well. Very excited my end, because it's the year of the gypsy, if ever I've known one. So I can really feel that calling. I felt that calling my whole life, but it's beautiful to see it being felt in others, to reconnect to the earth, to journey, to seek different horizons, to live. Yes. So it really feels like it's that the souls of us all are yearning for. That's something extra. Now, when I felt into it this morning, what I realized was obviously that little extra was me. Okay, I'm not saying everyone's searching for me. What I'm saying is I was searching for me. Now, it doesn't matter if it's a relationship, a job, a purpose, whatever it may be. What we're actually doing is we're searching for another aspect of ourselves. Okay, we're searching for fulfillment, which ultimately, cliche as it sounds, happiness, worth, all that comes from within. However, looking at what we're surrounding ourselves with this week and whether or not that matches the old story or the story that we want, and also realizing that what we're searching for is ourself. When I did that, when I realized that's what I wanted more of, that sustenance, that connection to myself, all the cards made sense. I wanted to work with all the decks because everything suddenly had a lot more oomph to them. Okay, so this week in particular, when we're thinking about things like addictive patterns, addictive thoughts, addictive behaviors even, really thinking, what is it I'm trying to fill here? What void am I trying to fill? And connecting with yourself first and foremost. Is there anything else? I think that will be enough for now. The decks that I've picked are Soundscape Intuition cards by the beautiful Debbie Walker. And I've picked these because it felt really poignant to see what noises we're surrounding ourselves with and what we're actually saying to ourselves as well, and the visual impact that can have on our body. I also picked the Light Seers Tarot because I do feel this week in particular very, very important to see the light and the light that is coming. You know, this is a dark winter, a chance to regroup, a chance to conceive, a chance to nurture and hold, but ultimately the light will return. So in those moments of uncertainty, which, let's face it, especially this time of year, for many, there is a lot of that. This too will pass. This is part of the natural cycle of creation. Now, I do respect that's very easy for someone to say sat in a house, not on the street. And I do respect that's very easy for someone to say when they're in a better circumstance than you. But it is the natural cycle of life that every moment will pass, the good and the quote unquote bad. So it is about making the most of it in every second, about living life, okay, taking that breath, taking that leap. You know, when we think about the Fool card in the tarot, we think about how he walks off the cliff and how he takes that leap. But think about newborn child. When a newborn child is in the womb, the heart has 2 chambers. It's all it needs. It's not until that child takes that breath that the heart divides into 4. It's the initial breath that causes a reaction within the body, and the body says, oh, okay, I need to breathe on my own here. This week, we are being asked to take a leap of faith, to take a breath of this new life that is waiting for us and allow it to ripple in our heart. Allow it to cause fear, doubt, hope, faith, any of it. Allow our heart to evolve now from ingesting the new air, the new connection to source, the new way of thinking, the new way of living life. So the other deck that I've got is the Magdalene Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno as well. That feels quite poignant to work with Magdalene energy as well. Okay, so I'm going to break it down, which feels like key this week. Break it down. If it all becomes a bit much, break it down into little steps, manageable steps, and breathe. All we're actually being asked to do is breathe at the moment. Now, yes, of course, there is more to life than just breathing, but there is no life without breathing. So it is about remembering that. All of our life is based on our ability to breathe, whether it's deep breaths with meditation or, you know, exercising or going to work, we need to breathe. Panicking, worrying, we still need to be able to breathe. So putting things into perspective this week. Oh, I haven't got time to breathe. Come on. Making that time to really connect to the breath this week. I feel it twitching my eye. There's a lot of stress out there that could be rectified by breathing. Okay, so energies this week. So what I'm getting, King of Swords on the bottom, what I'm getting, typical air, that's the mountains and the altitude there, look, yes. What I'm getting here is the analogy of the virus, the impact that it has had on our ability to breathe, physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually. Just like anything in life that tries us, anything in life that infects us, anything in life that causes dis-ease, what impact has it had on you? Really looking at that this week. And how is it continuing to affect the life that you live? Is that a new life? If it's continuing to affect. Okay, so energies this week and how to best navigate them. Gosh, these cards are upside down, upright. All over the place. Okay, yeah, I was just thinking about a study day that I have on Sunday in regards to the womb wisdom, and it feels like creativity is coming to the core, and how we understand creativity, how rushed creativity has become, how fearful we are of all the stages of creativity, including the darkness, including the uncertainty, and the needed recognition that this is a sacred part. It's essential, really, in order to birth something new and something different, rather than fear this, rather than try and push through this stage of conception. And I was just thinking about that, and the card at the bottom is actually the Empress here, okay, because I was talking to a dear friend this week with cacao ceremony, and we were speaking about, my postman, we were speaking about things like sanitary product adverts on TV and how it's encouraged women just get up and get on with things. And then we were speaking about how menopause is being discussed in the workplace and how more aware we are becoming of these things. Now, I don't mean the feminine cycle in the physical sense. What I mean is how more aware we are becoming of the stages of creation. So the crone stage is available in all parts of creation. It's the pause, it's the void within everything. You know, the maiden phase is again in all parts of creation. It's the uncertainty, it's the new beginnings, it's the opportunities. So the more and more we can speak about these things, the more and more we can understand the sacredness of the cycles of life, the easier life and more fun life is going to be. So with that in mind, with the Empress at the bottom of the pack, I'm not going to shuffle, we're going to see what the Earth says. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just move my cup to one side. Overall. Okay, so by moving my cup to one side, I've made space. And that feels really poignant. By putting to one side what I think I need, I can make space for what I need. Okay, so it's still there. I can still reach it. I can still fulfill my own needs. But I'm opening myself up to perhaps what else I require this week. So I'm journeying with the 10 of Cups today. And I woke up this morning feeling incredibly grateful for life, for waking up, you know, first and foremost, and then for some of the aspects that I have. There are other things that I require, but I could feel the paradox of the 10 of Cups. I could feel the blessings, but also the end of where I'm at, i.e. the wanting of more and not quite knowing how I feel about that. And that feels quite relevant this week to really look into that. How does it feel to want more than what you have had, or, you know, what you currently have? How does it feel, thank you, to want to grow? How does that feel? Is that frightening? Are you ready? What do you need to help you deliver now? Yeah, what do you need to help you birth what it is you've been trying to grow this week? So Monday, Six of Wands, the victory is there, the potential is there, but the spotlight is on us. Okay, it is about us standing in our own light, and it is about us recognizing the journeys we have had and the medicines that we have gained as a result, and trusting and believing in our own ability to bring forth the victory that we're searching for. Okay. Now the card overall, and I want to bring it to light, the card overall is the Four of Swords, but it is reversed. All right, so I do see a nesting period here. I do see taking care of the heart, but I don't actually see it occurring. That's the truth of it. I don't actually see it occurring. So I'm going to turn that upright. You know, it is that placing the cup to one side. If what we're doing isn't helping the situation, stop doing it and find a different way to achieve what it is we're trying to achieve, because on the Tuesday that can really cause quite a bit of conflict. We have the Five of Wands. Now remember, all conflict starts a fire, all friction builds up the energy, and eventually it will do what it needs to do, which is to transmute it. So, you know, the Five of Wands, we can try as much as we like to avoid things, but sometimes in order to recognize where the real conflict is coming from, we have to feel that friction within and around us. And that feels like key Tuesday. And that's quite a powerful message actually for Tuesday. What are we feeling? Why are we feeling this? What can we do about it? What is this energy asking us to do? Okay, because it's like on the Monday, the Six of Wands, we know it's down to us. On the Tuesday, how do I feel about that? Well, you know, I'm not quite sure how to do that. I'm feeling quite a bit of conflict between where I was and where I want to be. What do I need to do? That's good. Feel that. Let that friction build. Let it, the fire, the kundalini, transmute old energies and old stories now. On the Wednesday, we have our first major arcana, which is the Emperor. Okay, don't be a pawn in your own game. Change it. I might put on a session for the game changer. We'll see. But yes, change the game. Own who you are. Look at where you've been. You know, we do have the skull in the background, the death. Be proud of the endings that have occurred. They've helped you be where you are now. Recognize this. And that's where I need to take a drink. That's where it's like, okay, when we recognize how far we've come, that's like, we realize how much nurture is needed, and maybe it's that's being avoided. Okay, that caring, that endearing energy that is now required for the Emperor, for the masculine. You know, not just masculine as in physical sense, but it wouldn't hurt this week, but also masculine as in our own actions, taking time to nurture everything we have achieved rather than focusing on what we haven't. Okay, on the Thursday and Friday and Saturday we have major arcanas, but they're all upside down. So on the Thursday we have the moon. The illusion isn't really there. It's very clear really, but it's just being reflected back in a way that might cause a bit of confusion, in order to really connect to our emotions here, in order to really reflect and act as one. Because on the Friday we have the Lovers, which is again reversed. Now, when I see a card that's reversed, for me, that just means taking a bit of time to reflect on it. That just means the more shadow aspect of that card. So before rushing in, making decisions, with the reverse moon here as well, there's some uncertainty. Okay, it might not feel like there is, but there is some uncertainty and there is some illusions there, even if they're just with ourselves. So taking time before any decisions are actually made on the Friday. And she's got the Sagittarius arrow tattooed on her, and I do feel like that's in preparation for the new moon, because on the Saturday we have Temperance reversed, which is Sagittarius, right? So that balance is really needed. We're being given a wonderful opportunity to realise that A, it's down to us, B, observe and feel the conflict that this may cause, you know, and then start to own our crap by Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday and Saturday, yeah, bit of uncertainty. Don't rush into decisions. Really make sure it is, you know what it is, that you want before you start putting things into action. Because on the Sunday, Five of Swords reversed. So it isn't as confusing as we are being led to believe. It's almost like the confusion is the comfort here. Gosh, that's quite a... Okay. The confusion is the comfort, and what we're actually being asked to let go of this week is the illusion that the choices are outside of us, and to bring that balance back now. So I'm going to turn the cards all up the right way, and in doing so the picture becomes a lot clearer that it is the confusion that's causing the imbalance, that's stopping us from making the decisions and forming this illusion that we have no control, that we have no choice. That's causing conflict, that's transmuting the energy, and that's where we realize, yes, actually it is down to us. That is where we have the energy overall of the Empress and the Four of Swords, suggesting that we nurture this. There's a lot of healing coming to the surface. Sustenance. Our souls want sustenance. Our bodies want sustenance. Our relationships, our work, they all want sustenance. They all want the same thing. They all want to create a new world that is full of sustenance. Okay, so whatever you're feeling this week, emphasis on feeling, allow your body to go through its process of transformation. Allow your body to deliver its potential by releasing what isn't part of it. Okay? Emphasis really on us this week. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcanas. Turning point, big turning point, halfway, looking at how we create, taking responsibility for it. Feeling into our emotions around the choices that we have or possibly need to make, and doing so from a balanced perspective. Writing down what we want, taking physical steps towards it. Looking at what we need, doing something about it. Taking time to reflect if something doesn't work, to look at perhaps what might need tweaking. So really keeping that balance this week will have a knock-on effect on the choices that we make, how we feel about them, the decisions that we choose to own. Rather than being a pawn in our own game, we can actually play it and take the lead and create what it is we're trying to create. So minor arcana, there are, just put them to one side. 3, so we do, 4. nearly forgot that one. So 3, the birth, yes, until I recognised there was actually 4. The stability comes from the 6 of Wands. The stability comes from knowing that it is down to us this week and having victory in that. This is what we want, freedom of choice, free will. It can be very confusing, and sometimes we want people to tell us what to do and just show us the way. The way is within us, and the conflict that we're feeling is decades, generations, centuries of not realizing this. And I feel this in my third eye. It's like a banging on in the third eye that needs to be cleared here. Now I can see the 5 of Swords. It's this constant headache that we're finding ourselves up against. Take time, nurture your heart. Realize that it is that expansion, that heart opening we're being asked to breathe in this week, to nurture, to encourage. From that space, everything starts to shift, because that's the oxytocin needed for the birth that is available by the end of the week. And the end of the week has only just come in, but yes, absolutely available by the end of the week. So we have 2 wand cards, so there is a lot of union there about taking our conflicts and making victory out of them. 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, knowing this is natural progression. What we are going through is natural progression. It's a season, it's a cycle, it's perfectly normal. If we're not happy about something, that's going to bring up areas that need to be shifted so that we can stand and acknowledge it and empower ourselves to change the situation. So our feelings are relevant to our actions, and our actions are relevant to our feelings this week. Really being aware of that. I feel the 5 of Swords. I feel the energy of, am I really talking about this? We know this, guys, but actually that's where I know I have work to do on compassion for myself as well, because of course there are times when I feel things and things get highlighted to me and I repeat the patterns. Compassion is key when our mind is overthinking this week, because we're on the 5 of Swords. It is a turning point. There is only one sword card, and that sword is almost saying straight up to source. What would your higher self tell you? What are you going through? What would your future self tell you? What would someone that wants the best for you tell you this week? If it can't be you, ensure that it is people around you, or take time to connect, more importantly, to that higher energy, which is compassion. It is compassion in regards to our mental state this week. It's that that's going to change the game. It's that that's going to turn things around. And it's that we see in the Four of Swords. Sorry, so we have two sword cards, the Four of Swords and the Five of Swords. Again, that progression. So looking at the card, I didn't realise that the Four of Swords was actually a sword card, because all I could see was the heart and nesting. So for me, it felt very emotional and very physical. And that feels like key this week. To gather momentum for things to shift, we are looking at things from a physical and emotional perspective. Even though the cards are mental energy and fire spirit energy, the best way to hold space for this, again, I'm looking at the Temperance card here, and Temperance has Moon and the Sun in its hands. The best way to hold space for this energy is to physically nurture the body and emotionally nurture the body. Hold space. Or find someone that can hold space. Is there anything else with the cards that need to be added? So the Page of Cups upside down. I nearly didn't bother. Nearly didn't bother with this card. I thought, oh no, it's not relevant. It's just not relevant. And then I looked at it, and obviously there's pigs flying. Oh, it's not relevant. Pigs will fly. Yeah, it's just... And actually it's that energy that's leaving us ungrounded. It's that energy that's leaving things up in the air. It's that energy that's leaving our feet not on the ground that we walk. And it's that energy with the Eight of Cups that we need to move away from. Okay, this belief that things are irrelevant, this belief that there's no point in hoping, this belief that there's no point in taking that breath, in moving forward. We've all been through a lot the last few years, and it takes great courage to continue to move forward, to continue to trust, to continue to keep trying. That is life. When we look around, we see the trees doing it, we see the flowers doing it, we see the animals doing it. That is life. We fall down, we get back up. We fall down, we get back up. This is the cycle of life. What we're doing is letting go of what we no longer need, so we can make space for things to come in. So if you are down, what do you need to get you back up? If you are up too high, what do you need to ground yourself down? So if you're overthinking this week, what physical steps can you put in place? If nothing, stop thinking about it. If you feel emotional this week, if your water is out of balance and, you feel like you need a bit of a spark of creativity, what drives you? What gives you passion? Really this week, recognizing that we are the landscape of our own environment. Make sure that your thoughts are in balance, that your emotions are in balance, that your drive and ambition is in balance, and that you're matching that with physical steps. Because there again is a lot of, I can't even think of the word, it's just not in alignment this week. Decompartmentalization or discombobulation. all over the place, which is wonderful. It's all these different ideas of all these things that we want, but the core, what we're searching for, the core part of it is, what do they all have in common? You. So what do you need to do to achieve these things? Yeah, it's like just now looking through the cards, searching through the cards, wanting more. What is it you need to do in order to achieve what it is you want now? Emphasis is on us. And we've been blinded to that with the Two of Swords. We've been really blinded to that, and it's time to see. Okay, so 28 minutes. I'm going to pick a sound card. What language are we showing ourselves or need to show ourselves? So two have come out. Okay, so we have Ocean Immersion, which is the dolphin. We unite with your heart and play. So keep it light this week, guys. Really, really, really keep it light. There's great intelligence in the emotions. There's great intelligence in joy and laughter and fun and keeping it light. And there's a remembrance needed with that. There's a remembrance needed of the magic that comes from just creating magic for the sake of it. We then have Atlantis, from the depths of lost time. And yes, there is a lot of wound healing going on. I'm not going to go too much in depth of what timeline it's come from or anything like that, but there's a lot of healing going on, and it is just time to breathe in something new now, okay, with some fun and some joy. We've got blue here, which is just very much to do with how we communicate with life itself and each other. Anything else for that? Oh, how lovely. Okay, Angels of the Divine Universe, and this one is Angel of Mother Earth. Embrace heartbeat to heartbeat. So this is that Empress card, really connecting to the creators that we are. I really feel that in my breast. Really connecting to the creators that we are, held within the creator that is earth and source, and just really feeling into that this week, taking time to be out in nature, taking time to connect to your heart and to connect to the earth and the heartbeat beneath you. Really, really, really important this week. Yes, and I hear what makes you think what you want isn't what the earth wants, and you know, we're being asked to deliver it through ourselves for the earth as well. That's a bit monumental, right? That makes us see things with a little bit more respect, a little bit more compassion. Okay, so we're going to have a card from the Mary Magdalene deck. Anything that we need to know this week. I just feel joy. I feel quite strange feeling joy, which is interesting, isn't it? Okay. So two have come out, Perception and Mother Mary here. And we have those blues again, yeah? And what I see is just really opening ourselves up to the vision that we have, to the vision that we'd like to bring in. And the card underneath that is the real you and transformation. Okay. Knowing that everything that you're seeing at the moment, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how confusing, no matter how changeable, is all about you seeing yourself, really opening your perception to the mother within you. So we have the Empress, we have the Angel of Mother Earth, and then we have Mother Mary, the mother within you. And this is regardless of gender. We all have the ability to create. We all create what it is we want in life, you know, and we can all do that. So really nurturing that womb space within us all, that sacral center, those emotions behind it, you know, really recognizing that something needs to change there in order to see your own ability. Something needs to transform. So let's have a little look, see what the cards actually say. What is actually written? Oh, that's handy. I opened it up on the real you. Yeah, just you're being opened up to the real you. What more do you need? As humans, we are so attached to our physical world that we often lose sight of our true nature. In attaching your identity and sense of worth to worldly status and achievements, you have lost touch with the real you. Something inside you yearns to reconnect, and I could really feel that collectively this morning. Pay attention to your feelings and start to reclaim the many beautiful qualities you possess, the unique qualities you have for so long repressed and ignored. Lighten up and have fun. Laughter is the best medicine. So we're going back to the dolphin energy again. For you at this time, let go of all you think is right and wrong and all you think you should do, and just be you. As your true nature re-emerges, you'll feel inspired and discover a new way of looking at life, which has got to be the perception card, right? In turn, I've lost where I am. Yeah, in turn you will achieve, we'll see a new way of looking at life. We're just going to lose where we are, right? You will achieve greater success and feel a greater sense of fulfillment. Nurture yourself physically, spiritually and emotionally. There is so much to be grateful for and so much in life to explore. Okay, so I feel a knee-jerk reaction straight away, like, yes, but I've got this going on and that going on, and it's a collective one. And it's that needs transforming. So let's have a look at transformation. Your world may seem like it is turned upside down, yet rest assured there is no need for concern. A positive transformation related to work, study or finances is now occurring. Keep calm and allow the storm to clear, for when it does, you shall discover that things have been rearranged for the better. Do not fear the changes taking place, for change is a necessary part of life. With every ending comes a new beginning. Trust and be prepared to lovingly let go of the past. If there is one certainty in life, it is that your life will continue to transform as it magically unfolds. This never ends, guys. So it is about finding that one solid foundation within it all that's going to help you cope with everything. No, not cope. Enjoy everything that is occurring for the process that it is, which is ourself. Yeah, we open up to that. That is the structure we're looking for. If there is one certainty in life, it is that your life will continue to transform as it magically unfolds. Though you may feel unsettled and unsure at present, try to be flexible in your thinking and be open to new ideas. A bright future awaits. That return of the light, and I can really feel it. Does it mean that we're not going to go through a shitstorm first? Probably not, because, you know, the lower down we go, the further we root in, the higher up we can grow. It's that balance, that temperance type energy here. We want sustenance. Yes, we have to put in the seeds. We have to dig them deep down in and really root what it is we're trying to bring in. So that does mean looking at everything that has led this narrative of things not being enough. Really looking at that, pulling up the weeds, you know, doing the gardening, really dig down and bury those seeds, bury them so deep that they have no choice but to root right into the core of Mother Earth, and from there they have the strength, the flexibility and the foundations to grow so tall, so incredibly tall. So Mother Mary, let's see what the beautiful Mother Mary is saying. Dearest one, I ask you to surrender the fear and anxiety you hold for a loved one's well-being. Trust, all will turn out for the highest good of all concerned. This current situation is simply part of your loved one's life, their experience and their learning. A blessing eventually stems from this current event. Remember, at the heart of all creation, only love exists. Allow divine love to stir within your heart. Feel it move through the earth and stars as the miracle of life forever unfolds. Have faith in the universal spirit of life and know that you and those you hold dear to you are eternally protected. I shower your loved ones with protective and healing light, so please do not worry. Okay, and there's something in that about realising that we're not alone. We never have been alone. We can ask for help. Now, whether that's source, whether that's friends, whether that's seeking out a service that you require, your GP, the hospital, a healing, a reading, there are ways and means to get through this. And that's where we have perception. Beware. Someone you are attracted to has a tendency to use others to fill their own void. So it's going back to that energy, right? What are we filling our void with? Are we that one that has that tendency to fill our void with things that aren't substantial? Or are we surrounded by people that are doing that? And is there actually a difference? If we're surrounded by that energy, eventually we're going to feel that energy. And if we're doing that energy, eventually those around us are going to feel that energy. So really taking observation and responsibility for that this week. To some extent, this is true of most relationships. However, in this particular case, the void wanting to be filled is insatiable. Nothing you say or do will ever be enough, so tread carefully. Don't allow yourselves to be drawn into other people's problems. All is not the way it is presented. Use your intuition and trust your natural instincts. In spite of its problems, a valuable lesson will be derived from this relationship, as you realise that we are each responsible for our own well-being. Taking on another's emotional baggage is of no help to anyone, so remain emotionally detached and use your sixth sense. And that feels really important this week. What are we saying? Where are we speaking from? Is that our story? Is it someone else's story? Are we surrounding ourselves with people that support this story? Are we supporting this story? Whatever the story may be, and what impact is it having on ourselves, each other, and the very world that we're creating? Because ultimately, they are one and the same. Excuse me. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Start really feeling into what it is you want to create and what it is that's stopping you from doing it in time for this new moon in Sagittarius, but also the portal on the 12/12. Breathe in that air. Start to really evolve your heart and bring forth what it is you've been asked to bring forth. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.